I might as well start documenting this adventure. Got these 2 lithium batteries for free once upon a time. They were bloated and horrible. They're still bloated and horrible, but I've been able to pull capacity or over capacity if I slightly over discharge them, and make sure I fully charge them. The wind's picking up. Anyways, been trying to get my internet and all my security system so that it is self-sufficient of the power grid, which is my ultimate goal, to be completely self-sufficient with the grid. And only using these 2 small panels, just 2 of them. I got them both wired in series so that I can run a maximum of somewhere around close to 38 volt open circuit. These flexible panels, I was given 3 of them. Craigslist win, thank you very much. They're abused and used, but they do put out juice. I was having problems with these BMSs. These BMSs are garbage. They have a separate charge and B plus, or P minus, sorry, B minus and separate charge. And they can only charge at 10 amps, but they're 100 amp BMSs. So that's been kind of a struggle as far as configuring it, because the RV here does have a built-in battery tender for the old original 12 volt system. And right now I'm actually just bringing that in and feeding it directly into both batteries. Originally it was just feeding into one battery, so a total of 10 amps can backfeed from that system, that charger, that battery tender, up to here. Cheap 20 amp Amazon charge controller, PWM, nothing special. I am running, quote unquote 24 volt configuration with the panels here, but as long as you plug in the battery first with this, it will know what battery you're using and not overcharge it. Now, this is mainly for lead acid, and it's not for these guys, but I've never seen these guys reach over 13.8 volts or so. So I'm well within the range of acceptability. I don't care if they get a little, under max charge at any given time. They seem to do pretty well this way so far. But the issue that I was having was, let's see, the pack voltage is still increasing. Voltage slowly dwindling away because the draw from the T-Mobile home internet trash can here seems to be a fair amount, more than I bargained for, but I was 12.81, now 12.85, so we're definitely climbing here. So yeah, that's just a minor little video about kind of the mess that I'm dealing with here, all the crazy wires. I've got an extension cord up here and a charger to recharge these batteries if there's ever an issue, but it's currently not even hooked up. And as well as I am, there's another line. This big cable here is just for this panel. I'm going to add the 2 better ones. This one's the more deteriorated one. Only puts out about 60 to 80 watts. It should be somewhere around 100, 120. These things typically overperform, so that's something to note. But I freed up these 2 Y splitters so that I can take 2 of these. I'm going to drill holes down the sides and attach 2 side by side. Put a permanent piece of plastic or tarp underneath, because they come with this tar. They're meant for sticking down. You peel off a layer and then you stick it down to a steel roof, and that's really what these are designed to, sized and designed for. But you gotta work with what you got sometimes. So I need to do something about that, and then I'm gonna mount them both right across the top here, attach them up at the top here and somewhere over here, and just let them drape and hang and sit out on top of here. And that way, whenever it's time to clean them, I could just bring the pressure washer hose up here and just across them real quick. That'll solve that problem. But yeah, so adding the second panel, so I got a little bit of better recharging without, eventually I want to get rid of the tender inside the RV, and this will actually be this is all temporary testing stuff, but and then this will only be a feed to down there, because that's feeding all the 12-volt systems in the RV, as well as feeding a UPS battery backup that has the battery removed. And then I installed MC4 connectors in one of the cabinets that had, a 12-volt outlet in it, and it's permanently wired into the coach battery, so that my other network equipment and cameras down there have their own battery backup system as well. But it's using these batteries, so they're on the system. These BMSs, I just did a check. All the cells are within 10 millivolts of each other, 10 to 12, which is excellent. I didn't expect that to happen. I was only charging through the charge port, so in the next week or two, now that I'm charging directly into the batteries through the B minus terminal here, I'm curious as to what kind of imbalance may end up popping up over time. But so far, I'm really amazed that the batteries weren't out of balance, like, nearly at all. Checking on it right now. Having the issues with the voltage dropping and stuff, it took about, I'd say about 2 or 3 weeks or so of my, regular power use through the 12-volt system, whether it be the trash can or the battery backups or what have you, to keep everything up and going. But then suddenly it all died out, and these guys reached 10 volts, and that was a no-go situation. I ended up having to come back here. I was sick in the hospital a lot, so staying closer to town during that time, and ended up having to come out here and reconfigure everything and figure out why this was happening, because, the trash can itself draws 4 amps at 12 volts, right? Like 48 watts. So I don't understand how that was able to really not, I just don't understand how this taking juice from down there was not enough. Now granted, you can pull power through these, as I was doing for downstairs. And it's not the right way to use this BMS, but I was kind of, I didn't want to hook it up this way because I want to try to utilize the actual functions of this BMS. But these are really cheap. I think I paid $15 each for these BMSs. And these batteries are not in series, they're in parallel. They're just both tanked, the same way. I may get a 60 amp, 24 volt down converter to put these in series, and that way they're better utilizing the charge controller because they'll be in the same voltage range. I just have issues with these panels in general because they've got a max open circuit voltage of 58 volts, which is massive for anybody who understands it. You're kind of stuck in a realm of, can I really use that inverter or charge controller or not? These panels, I always considered these to be temporary, just because of, I can't permanently install them on the RV roof. I get shadows here, and it's totally not optimal. This will be the better option here. This gets the end of sun day, which is, again, debatable, because you get the best out of your solar in the morning when they're cold, but that's looking east, so it's a grain of salt with what I got to deal with here. Anyways, this is my mess, but my mess is working. I'll report back more when I know more. Thanks for watching this if you made it this far, because yeah, this is gonna be uploaded as is, so very horrible quality, if you know what I mean. Anyways, I'll work on that in the future. More updates later.